With the ACC now closer than ever to dissolving, there's lots of speculation going around about where each of the members of the ACC will end up. But at this point, any guess is as good as the next because I don't think anybody knows, which is why we are turning to Chat GPT to see if it can help us predict where and which conferences the ACC members will end up in. Okay, so here we are at Chat GPT. Let's see if AI can help us figure this out. So my last knowledge update was in September 2021. Not sure why that is. So that's going to possibly impact these decisions. I think a lot's come out since then. So let's see here. Boston College, the Big East or the American. So it's saying things are pretty bleak for Boston College. And if the ACC completely disbands, I have to say I actually agree with that. Clemson, SEC, or the Big 12. Yeah, either conference would have them. I don't see them not making it to the SEC. I don't think South Carolina has that kind of sway to keep their rival out, and Clemson is too big of a brand. So far, I think I agree with the first two. So Duke potentially joining Big Ten or Southeast. Yeah, I could see either one of those. Florida State joining the SEC or the Big 12. Yeah. So again, same with Clemson. And I think why they say the Big 12 is there was one point when the Big 12 had been kind of flirting at taking Clemson, Florida State. I think there were some others. Before all this current round of realignment, but then the ACC, if I'm remembering right, that was just before and leading up to when the ACC came up with their grant of rights, and I think that was part of why they wanted such a long grant of rights, was to lock in what was at the time really good money, but also to lock in all the members and keep any of the major programs from fleeing. So that could be why it's putting Big 12 there, but there's no way I could see them. Obviously, their aspiration is Big 10 or SEC. Georgia Tech potentially joining the Big 10 or the SEC. Yeah, I agree with that. Louisville says the Big 10 conference or the SEC or potentially Big 12. So, yeah, I think. Wait, is Louisville AAU? I'm not sure. So I guess if that's the case, they could be a fit. They're obviously a decent fit geographically, but I just don't see that happening. SEC does not really need them, but so I think the Big 12 would take them, and obviously great fit with Cincy and West Virginia, and great basketball brand. So only furthering the Big 10 status as a top basketball conference. So next we have Miami joining the Big 10 conference. I don't see that. Doesn't seem like a great fit, but I think their name has been tossed around. So certainly a big brand for the Big Ten to get. SEC makes a lot of sense geographically. Do they need them? I don't know. And then, or the American. Yeah, there's no way the American. If worst comes to worst for Miami, I think the Big Ten, well, the Big 12 would obviously take them if the other two conferences pass, and it would be a huge get for the Big 12, but I just don't see that happening. Too big of a brand. UNC, potentially Big 10 or SEC, I agree. NC State, not the Big 10, but the SEC, so I agree with half of that. Notre Dame, good. They included Notre Dame on here, so they would be rejoining the independent ranks, which they still are, or potentially joining the Big 10 conference. Yes, I could see Big 10 as an option. American is not happening. I would see most likely if the ACC completely disbanded or became, lost a lot of its big brands, Notre Dame could always, since it is already independent, relocate its other sports to the Big East. I think would be easy enough, and I think the Big East would be happy to have them. And being a Catholic school, being a former member, it's just a great fit there. Pittsburgh could join the Big Ten or the AAC. No, I think, again, Pitt is another one that if the ACC does not find some sort of alternate solution, either to reload its ranks like the Big 12 did, or do some sort of pairing with the Big 12 from coast to coast, or Pac-12 from coast to coast, I could see something like that, but if the option is really just get out of the ACC and go to another conference, I think Big Ten is a potential fit, but Penn State may not want them, in which case the Big 12 would certainly take Pitt. I would have to think. Syracuse going to the Big Ten or the American. That is an interesting one because Syracuse was on the Big Ten's radar a long time ago before they had added Maryland and Rutgers. But then Syracuse lost its AAU status, and the Big Ten went for Rutgers to get into the New York market. And so I just don't think Syracuse. I don't believe they've regained the AAU status, and not big enough brand and not expanding far enough for the Big Ten. So I really don't see that happening. I could see them being a potential target for the Big 12, for them wanting to get up to New York and a good, strong basketball brand for the Big 12. But I could also see them falling through the cracks, in which case the AAC could be an option. They would be able to, much like BC, put their other sports into the Big East, where they used to be, a great fit there, but they would have to figure out something for football. So maybe BC and Syracuse and I don't know, UConn, maybe some of these other schools that don't have homes for their other or for football could find some way to do that, or maybe they'd have to look at joining the AAC for football only. Let's see. Virginia, potentially Big Ten or SEC. I agree. Virginia Tech, Big Ten or SEC. No, I do not think that they have any chance of getting into the Big Ten. Their best bet and their hopes really, I think, is the SEC. And Wake Forest, potentially Big Ten or SEC. And I think that one is just based purely off of geography. I think there's a chance, but there's really no way that I think they get into either one of those two conferences. So that was ChatGPT's prediction on where each of the schools will go if the ACC does in fact disband. What do you think of its predictions? Do you think it was close at all or way off? And let me know where you think each of the schools of the ACC will go if the conference completely dissolves, and what you'd like to see. And let me know in the comments. And please don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.